After trying as much of everything as I could, I went back to the crime scene and found this little thing on the doorknob. So it didn't come to me in a flash, and I do feel a little bit better knowing that this was rather tricky to find. So let's examine it.
Huh. There's a reaction to blood on this screw that's securing your doorknob. The screw seems rather loose as well. Come to think of it, the door to this room was chained shut when the fire started. Could this be related to that in some way?
Now we can leave. I said leave, please. And by the way, I examined the personal effects again. The only new thing I learned is that the shirt has buttons on it. Alright. Very loose. Oh yeah, analyze this, please.
What's this? It just looks like a loose screw to me.
Think harder, little guy. How was the room when the firefighters arrived at the scene? The entrance was closed, but was it completely inaccessible? I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously.
I don't remember a deadbolt. Either locked or it wasn't locked. I'm trying to think. I'm recording this episode a few days after the previous one, so I have to come back to this.
Dr. Kimishima, we've identified the blood on the screw. It's a DNA match with the victim, Dennis Taylor. Why would his blood be there of all places?
It's simple. What happened was, I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously.
Oh, right.
I cannot make any more mistakes.
Obviously. Yeah, splatter. No.
I cannot make any more mistakes.
No! I wasn't thinking.
So, my time has come. How pathetic that I would end up welcoming the end. But I'm so tired. Please, let me rest for a while.
I just hit no. I am really stupid. Hold on. If I restart from the beginning, it's going to take me to the, to the beginning of the episode. The challenge I'm having with forensics in particular is, well, kind of the same thing that happened with diagnostics. I'm overthinking things, and two, I'm overestimating or I guess underestimating just the sheer amount of effort that I need to put into this compared to the other pads. Okay. Well, we know the answer to this now.
Dr. Kimishima, is it what would his...
I can't make any more rash decisions.
The murder weapon.
Cautiously. That's right. It's probably because he touched the murder weapon.
Wait, why would the killer touch that screw with the murder weapon?
He would have to, if the weapon was... I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously. Yes, a screwdriver. It was likely used to both loosen and tighten that screw.
I see. Then the screwdriver left the blood on the screw while he was covering his tracks.
Right, right. Did he have stab wounds? Yes. Well, hold on, it's not entirely true. He had a gash in his wrist, but... Wait, so... Yeah, this is a Phillips head, right? So...
Yes. These pieces of information are hiding an important fact. I didn't notice because the bleeding had stopped completely, but this isn't a bruise. It's a stab wound. This strange pattern here is likely I can't make any more rash decisions.
The handle.
I need to think cautiously. Yes, that's right. It's indisputable evidence that the weapon was jammed in so deeply that the grip left a bruise.
Oh, then that would explain this, then.
Yes. These do lead the way to a definite truth. Looking at the location of the bruise, the tip of the screwdriver must have pierced Dennis's lung. His lung would then rupture, causing pulmonary emphysema, and he would have suffocated. This explains the spots of hemorrhaging in the corpse's eyes. What actually happened that day is slowly coming to light now.
Oh, afterward, it was moved.
Yes. These two can tell us how the murder happened. On the day of the incident, the killer came to the victim's room and stabbed him in the torso. The murder weapon was, I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously. Yes. The screwdriver pierced the victim's lung, causing pulmonary emphysema. This caused respiratory problems due to lung failure. Thus, the cause of death was, I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously.
Respiratory failure, yeah.
After this, the killer moved the victim to the bed. This is most likely because I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously.
Yeah.
Indeed. The murderer then arranged the corpse to make the death appear to be a suicide. That is what I believe took place, according to the evidence we have gathered.
Okay, now we can answer this question. I'm gonna make a save, though. It's still saying I need to check the personals.
What's this?
The entry can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously. That's right. The chain on the door had been attached, but the door itself wasn't locked.
That's right. See, that's kind of what threw me off too, with the way they were explaining it before.
Sorry, but the door only opens about 15 centimeters with the chain attached.
Really.
I don't even think a small child could get through a space that small.
You're so unimaginative. Flex your mind and think about it. Listen to me. What I'm trying to tell you is, I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously. This loose screw tells us everything. With the screw removed, the entire plate on the door can be swiveled around by the doorknob. The plate itself is about 20 centimeters long, so the gap increases to almost 35 centimeters. How big does somebody have to be that he couldn't fit through a space that size?
Oh, I see now. That's more than enough room to get past the door. So the killer just screwed the plate back on from the outside after he left the room then.
I think that's the most likely explanation. But the killer was in plain sight once he was outside the door. He wanted to finish quickly. The killer couldn't completely tighten the screw and left the area as we found it.
Well, that proves that this isn't quite the locked room mystery we thought it was.
Still, this doesn't help us figure out who the killer is. I need to investigate the situation in more detail.
Okay, now, regarding these clothes. He was wearing a red t-shirt, so stabbing from the abdomen. See, was it this jacket had to have been over the t-shirt, right? Or am I misunderstanding that? If we go up to where the stab wound should have been, look, no blood.
This is odd. There's something missing that should be here. If the puncture wound in the abdomen is the true cause of death, I can't make any more rash decisions.
Because before, when I was looking at this, I was looking for, you know, the shape of the bruise, and nothing of that came up.
You're right. There should be blood stains and a hole where the screwdriver went through his clothing.
Is that it? Or do I really need to patch this up with a Jack Frost head?
Yes, these pieces of information can tell us something. According to Mr. Taylor's friend, on the day of the incident, Dennis had been wearing, I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously. That's right. He was supposedly wearing a red Portland Jacks t-shirt that day. But when his body was discovered, it was wearing, I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously. Yes, his corpse was found wearing a white shirt. In other words, his clothing had changed. And yet, if that was all we know, we couldn't rule out if the deceased had changed his shirt himself. However, if he had, there would still be discrepancy. I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously. Yes, the corpse had a wound that wasn't reflected by the state of the clothing he was wearing. There's only one answer to this puzzle, and that is, I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously. Killed Mr. Taylor replaced the shirt he was wearing after killing him. The reason for doing that was calm down and ascertain the truth, Naomi. Exactly. It was probably to hide the stab wound and make us believe that cut wrist was the cause of death. The killer staged the suicide in order to mislead us. These two are related. There are no vital reactions to the broken finger. That means the damage occurred after death. Considering that the killer must have changed the victim's clothing after death, calm down and ascertain the truth, Naomi. That's right. The killer broke the corpse's finger while changing the shirt on the body.
Dr. Kimishima, how's the investigation going?
I've almost uncovered the deception, but the truth hasn't completely been revealed.
I see. So we can't arrest the culprit yet?
That's right. I need conclusive evidence that can help us identify the killer.
The most reliable giveaway would be if we could find a fingerprint at the crime scene.
gone to hide his tracks. The murderer was probably wearing gloves while the crime was being committed.
Isn't there anything the killer might have touched?
Something that would require him to take his gloves off? It's hard to think of anything.
Well, the best evidence would be on a hard, slick, inorganic substance. It doesn't matter what size it is.
All we can investigate are the crime scene, the corpse, and what the corpse was wearing. Could there be anything among those items that the killer touched with a bare hand? I'll have to investigate further. Thank you, little guy.
I mean, there are only so many things, right? Well, if he was changing the body, it would have to be something on the body itself, right? Alright, guess not. We're done with the crime scene, so something else.
This shirt on the victim's corpse after the murder took place. That would mean that the killer would have had to button the shirt up as well. Buttoning up a shirt with gloves on is no easy task. If my predictions are correct, hopefully this will help us find the identity of our mystery murderer.
Dr. Kimishima, it was there. I found it. There's a fingerprint from someone who isn't the victim. It's, a right thumb.
Great. Run the print through the list of registered offenders immediately.
Leave it to me. Such an attention to detail has gone into this. It can't possibly be a first-time offender. There has to be a match for this fingerprint in our records.
I sincerely hope so. This case should be over soon.
It's blue. We did it.
The dead shall speak. Let's put together the truth of what happened here. The victim in this case is 30-year-old Dennis Taylor. As there's no motive for murder, it's a suspected suicide. However, the victim had a hidden other side. This card is the one with proof of that.
The side of the victim had been, yes. Or, wait, no. Yes.
I cannot make any more mistakes.
The pusher. Durr.
Yes, while he did work at the bar, he also dealt drugs. This case is related to the victim's drug activities. The proof of that is on this card.
Motive. Yeah.
Indeed, the drugs hidden behind the shelf were missing. The killer went into Taylor's room to kill him for his drugs. The real cause of the victim's death can tell us that. I know that because of this card.
True cause of death.
Right. The wound on the wrist was not the true cause. Next, the killer disguised the murder as a suicide. This card proves the misdirection used to hide the murder.
Yeah.
Yes, the appearance of suicide covered up the real cause. The next topic is the secret hidden in the room itself. The murderer used a trick to create a locked room mystery. It was made to seem as if the victim was the only one there. This card shows the trick that had been used. Exactly. The killer thought this would clear his trail. And yet, the culprit had one more way to hide from suspicion. That was to hide when the murder itself took place. This card shows how he went about that ruse. The murder took place 3 hours prior to the fire's start. It's natural to assume that if the room was locked, then the crime and the fire would be at the same time. The plan was perfect. No fingerprints were left in the room. However, there was one thing the killer hadn't counted on. There was one task he needed to remove his gloves to do. This card is evidence of that task. He probably couldn't button the clothes with his gloves on. No matter how small the buttons, there were still prints. Even a fragment of a fingerprint can be used to identify him. The victim must have been surprised. After all, he thought the killer was a customer. This is what he said at the very end.
Stop! No!
The final flickers of this soul's light show me the truth. Who's there?
I'm sorry. I must have surprised you.
You're that electrician. Why are you here?
Oh, I was called up because a switchboard blew. I need to have it fixed by tomorrow.
I see. That sounds difficult.
Same trick will not work twice.
Freeze. Don't move. I see corpses all day, one more, one harder.
Naomi! Are you hurt? I'm sorry. I should have stayed.
I've solved the case. I'll give you my report tomorrow.
The report can wait. Naomi, you must think of your safety.
Nobody lives forever. Even if I died today, it'd just be earlier than I expected.
Okay, good. I'm tired. I'm gonna rest on this for a bit, and I'll see you later.